Hi, Luke from Korg here with GAK, and we're looking at the Kronos now. Okay, so at the heart of the Kronos we have the set list. That's this screen here. So what this allows me to do is recall my favourite sounds. Great for a live scenario or in the studio. You can also have different set lists themselves as well. Great for different projects, different gigs with different bands. And the great thing is these slots can be programs or combis, so combinations of sounds, or even a backing track as well, a sequence. So it just makes everything really fluid, and it also means that we have this smooth sound transition in here. So if we want to switch sounds, the previous sound remains as well as the effects. In the Kronos we have a solid state drive, which means we have a lot of capacity for recording audio, but also it means we can use all these different engines. So that's what you're hearing me using here. I've got my piano engine, so I can really sculpt my sound as I need. So for instance, I can change the lid position, bring it up and down for a mellow sound or a bright sound. I can introduce or take out different sounds like damper noise, damper resonance, and also have a whole raft of sampled pianos which I can choose from famous manufacturers. So this concept is taken through all the different sounds. So for instance, the electric piano we have here. So if I just show you what that looks like. We see the front panel of our Rhodes. We've got an effect built in. We can use the real-time controls here to bring the effect in. We've also got a drum track, so we can add some rhythm. So we can play lots of different patterns at any tempo with different styles, different kits if we want to. What's nice as well is this control surface automatically maps to these controls. So I can change the volume, the EQ, and all the other effects. Even if there's a switch on the panel there, I can use these switches to turn on and off, say the amp, cabinet, and so on. And I can even change my effect as well. So say I wanted a wah, for instance, I can go through. They're all based on classic effects. So I can just dial in whatever effect I want very easily. And then if I want to save it, just go right program and I can save whatever I want. You've got a really nice amp model in here as well for the EPs, which really, when you dig into the keys, really starts to bite. So you can get a nice laid back sound by playing gently. Or if you dig into the keys, you get that drive coming in. Again, adding the drum track. Great organs as well in here. We have the CX3 built in. You can also bring in different Leslie effects. Great synths, of course, as well. We have lots of different controllers in the Kronos. So, for instance, we have the ribbon controller. So we can assign it to filter, for example, like that. And we've got our classic Poly 6 built in. So again, press tone adjust and these parameters will map. And we've got other great synths in here, like the MS-20, for example. So you can see all the different components, including the patch panel. We've also got a technology in here called Karma. Karma is like an arpeggiator, so it'll play patterns for us. So I've got this nice MS-20 sound here. Turn on Karma. I can actually control that pattern with the faders here and the buttons. So for instance, fader 3 there, duration control. Fader 1 is the swing. Great thing is that also syncs together with the drum track. So if I turn on the drum track, they'll play together at the right tempo, which is here, top right, 146. And we've also got this great tool here, this is called a vector joystick. So this allows me to sculpt my sound. All in real time, and works particularly well when the Karma is running as well. So that's the MS-20 engine using Karma. A few of the other engines in here, we've got Mod 7, which is great. That's modelling our DX7 and also the Roland D50 as well. So we've got operators in there to do that. We've got the STR1 engine, which is a physical modelling engine, so we can model string sounds. So for instance here, we've got an acoustic bass. So, and when sometimes in the patch name or the program name, you'll see STR1 acoustic bass, but also joystick minus Y and vector joystick. That applies to these controllers. So for instance, joystick minus Y will change the sound into a bowed sound. So from pizzicato pluck sound to bowed, but it actually morphs there rather than just switching samples. And then the vector joystick introduces other articulations, for instance, harmonics, noises, fretless, and you can even combine these two together to really push the boundaries of sound design as well. Okay, so another engine we've got in here is the HG1. This is a very important engine. This is the sample-based engine, so we can pretty much recreate any sound with this one. So for instance here we've got a steel string guitar. So the sound really changes by using different velocities, like a mellow sound or a bright sound, just like an acoustic instrument. Strings are really good. Drums. And of course, the drum kits themselves are fantastic because you've got two oscillators and we can actually adjust the levels of each mic placement. So for instance, we can hear the close mic drums, we can hear the ambient, so the overheads, and then we can sculpt our sound accordingly. So if we want a more kind of live sound, do something like this. Or we can have a more intimate setting, something like this. So it just gives you a lot of power to really sculpt your drum sounds exactly as you need. Okay, so that's it for program mode. Check out some of the other videos for the combi mode and sequence mode.